Luis Cabra. Luis, please, a big hand to Luis. Welcome, Luis.
Hello.
So, it's been quite a day.
Yeah, but intensive.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Would you like me to speak about the methane emissions regulation?
Why don't we do that? Yes, well,
Trending topic of this.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Among others. I mean, and we've learned in the morning how much there's an ecosystem of industry, of the economy that depends on what your association, what your companies are doing, right?
Yeah, really, I believe that, and I would like to thank one person, which is not here, which is Liana Gouta, the Director General of the association, and the whole team of Fuels Europe, that since many months ago, they said we need to reinstate this type of dialogues. Last one was in 2019, so even before that I was in charge of this position of President of Fuels Europe. So definitely this is the type of strategic dialogue we need to have. At this opportunity is a one-day dialogue, bringing together all the stakeholders, politicians, members of the institutions, colleagues of this extended ecosystem that is related to the production of fuels and non-fuel products that we manufacture in refineries. And probably this should be a first stage on something that has been also called quite insistently here during this day of engaging industry and institutions, the European Commission, in what we call a strategic dialogue on refining, on this industry. We hardly need this dialogue. We've been, in these concluding remarks, we can remind that we've been speaking systematically about this regulation we have is siloed. We are speaking about aviation on one side, shipping in others, automotive sector in others.
But they're related.
They are closely interrelated. Yeah. The same facilities produce all these fuels and products. So we need this strategic dialogue. So probably this is the place to call for that. We have started with DG Energy to have something like an incipient dialogue, but we need that much more structured.
Yeah, because there are impact studies on when there is new regulation that's considered, but perhaps those impact studies need to be a bit more global to take into consideration that interconnectedness. Is that one of the points of today?
Look, the mechanism of consultation is well established in the European Union. It's probably well regulated, public consultation and so on. But we shouldn't convert this public consultation dialogue on something very cold. We cover the process. We ask everyone in the world that would like to give an opinion on the regulation may have a place to do it. The impact assessment is missing, and this was done in the past. And now we have substituted something like an economic impact assessment by public consultations of very, I would say, generic type. And probably the best equipped and with the knowledge to cooperate with the European Commission on making this impact assessment are the impacted sectors.
And part of this cooperation is also the transition of your industry, right? And you have been very much involved in biofuels for a long, long time. Probably at the very beginning when you got involved in it, nobody really took it seriously, right? And now?
And we need to recognize that things in the European regulation works. I mean, we couldn't have been able to build up plants of biofuels without a regulation that was giving the market signal for that. So let's be a little bit more optimistic when things work well. But you know, at the end of the day, someone has to pay. Juan was saying the energy transition has a cost. This is an absolute true. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't need a price of CO2, we wouldn't need mechanisms and so on. Even if you speak about electrification, of course, producing electricity, renewable electricity is cheap when there is sun and wind, but then you have 24/7 supply and you need storage, you need grid. When you put all this in place, someone has to pay for that, and it's going to be transferred to the tariff of electricity, or it has to pay or funded by public money that at the end of the day needs to be paid by taxpayers.
There you go.
And taxpayers and consumers most times are the same people, the ones that are here. So we need to have this into consideration, and then we need to put in place the mechanisms. If we put obligations and mandates, this can work, but these objectives need to be realistic. We heard this morning, it was Fertilizers Association saying, look, I am obliged to substitute natural gas by green hydrogen, 42% of it in 2030. And today we have 0.25%. So this objective, the one that put this objective in place was understanding nothing about cost impact assessment, sorry to say. When the red is putting objectives that are progressive and realistic on renewable energy for transport, gasoline, diesel, etc., things work. So, and this is the need for cooperation and for collaboration.
I think another thing is that as this event is aimed at drawing more attention to your industry, hasn't the latest geopolitical development in the Iran war in Ukraine, has that not reinforced your argument to matter more here in Brussels?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we need to speak about the future, biofuels, renewable fuels, etc., but we need to speak about today.
Yeah.
And the crisis, especially this one of Hormuz and also in Ukraine, has been a wake-up call and say, okay, look, which is the situation of the refining industry today? Today, we are speaking very clearly and very transparent. We have shut down 20% of the capacity, 35 refineries in 15, 20 years. 3 years ago, we were not even considering speaking about all this. This was happening. Nobody was concerned because they say, okay, no problem. We are importing jet fuel. We are importing gas oil. Someone is producing. No disruption. Up to a point in which the disruption happens, and then we are concerned about that.
Can I ask you about innovation too? Because I understand that is it Repsol that's involved in the Horse project?
Yeah.
Developing a new internal combustion engine with Renault that uses 40%. Is 40% more efficient in terms of fuel. That's an indication of innovation in your sector, right?
Yeah, innovation is important, and it's funny because when this idea came 2 years ago, we cooperated with Horse Technologies and say, okay, let's cooperate to produce an engine which is consuming, the target was 3 liters per 100 kilometers, and now has been certified 3.3, not so bad. 40% reduction as compared to the same type of engine. But I remember a conversation with the chairman of Repsol saying, look, you are crazy. You are a fuel manufacturer. What you're doing cooperating on developing an engine.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, this is the single option, having this sort of joint venture on demonstrating that the internal combustion engine has still a lot of room for efficiency. Because some years ago, someone decided in Europe that internal combustion engine need to be banned in 2035. The consequence, nobody will invest in developing better internal combustion engines. So definitely we are not going to market engines, but we are very proud and very happy that Horse Technologies, with our help, we have co-developed this prototype.
Right.
And well, if there are internal combustion engine in 2035, this can be escalated and produced massively.
So you're transitioning, you're developing, and your what's going to happen with this manifesto that you have now? What comes next? Where do we go from here?
Okay. Well, we call about this manifesto is something that the association is putting in a simple 2-3 pages, which is
Strategic, sovereignty, policy, transition.
absolutely. This is our declaration of what we need today to remain competitive and what we need in order to transform and evolve into the new and future refining fuels. It's interesting because it's Manifesto 2.0, because we had a manifesto 2 years ago or so.
Hmm.
So the change from 1.0 to 2.0 is exactly because now we are speaking not just about the future, we are speaking about competitiveness of today. We cannot separate both things. If we want to have a future, we need to be competitive today. And this is the complement in this part of the new part of the manifesto.
And any final remarks about how today went? Any memorable moment that comes to mind?
If you say memorable moment, I say it comes to my mind methane emissions regulation. So, and look, just a final call. This is important. I mean, it's a trending topic today, but we need to sort this problem, and it's going to be very easy if there is a political will. But we need. I wanted to quote Alice that say, it is not possible nor fair that the European Commission is inviting our sector to be uncompliant with a regulation. This is totally unfair. It's not about not paying penalties, it's to be compliant. But definitely my last words would be to thank everyone here at the audience for being with us. Definitely this conference cannot happen without people wanted to participate and listening. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you to Luis. Thank you to our technician team. Thanks to the organizers and you for your questions and your thoughts.